What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We are out here in the urban city limits fishing for bass and crappie. We're doing a little bit of finesse fishing today with primarily a Ned rig. I've gotten a lot of requests over the years about how to use a Ned rig, the proper techniques, the different colors to choose from, and really just, you know, when to throw a Ned rig. What is the best time to throw a Ned rig? So today, come along for the ride. I'm going to show you guys how to use it, the gear to use, and we're going to get some fish. Let's freaking go. So it looks like this water is actually pretty clear. I don't remember it being this clear, but that's okay. Typically when it's clear water, I really honestly go to one color for the Ned rig. And I'm pulled out here. The color is green pumpkin and it's finesse TRD. So it's a 2.75 inch worm, and basically what you do, pull them out, grab your Ned hook. So for the Z-Man Ned rig, there's two sides to this worm. There's the flat side where there's not really any texture, it's basically just a plain worm. And then you have the rear end, which has like these little bubble grooves around the surface. So what you want to do is you want to stick your hook through this side, the flat side. Basically, all you're going to do is take your standard Ned hook, nothing fancy. This is, I think, a Z-Man hook as well. And you're going to thread it through, just like you would any other worm or swim bait. You get down to about that far, stick it out, and you're going to push it right up to the top of the head. That is it. You are looking at a Ned rig in action. Well, not in action, but basically this is what you want it to look like. You want it to be completely even. You don't want it to be down here. You don't want it to be up here. You want it to be perfectly vertical with the hook. Slow and steady is the name of the game. You want to kind of hop that bait along and let those fish know that there's something there on the bottom. Got him. But you don't want to go too fast. You don't want to reel it in like it's a spoon or a spinner. That's really not what you want to do with the Ned rig this time of year. In the summertime, when the temperatures are warmer, you can get away with that. But right now, when these fish are still kind of lethargic, they're not really sure what's going on with the weather, the temperatures are a little bit off for them, stick to a slow and steady retrieval. As you guys can see here, I am just barely hopping it. I mean, I'm giving it just a hop. I reel up that slack, let it sit. I'll bring my rod tip up to see if I feel a bite, and then I'll give it a hop, let it sit. Give it a hop. Very, very minimal movement. With the Ned rig, you let the Ned rig do the job for you. You let that, basically with like a Z-Man Ned rig, with the material that they use in their plastic, it stands straight up and down. So when you move it along the bottom and you do a hop motion, that little tail will kind of move in the water, and it mimics something that's kind of dying on the bottom, and it gets these fish really, really fired up. Got it. Come on, buddy. Ned rig strikes again, comes right out. Sometimes when you get a few bass, your worm will start to kind of, you know, intertwine and look all kind of weird and wacky. As long as you make sure that that worm is still perfectly sitting up and down along your shaft, your hook shaft, you are totally fine. And again, with the Z-Man baits, they are made out of a very, very durable plastic, and I've had days where I catch 50 bass on one piece of Ned rig. No kidding. Same technique. Let it hit the bottom. Give it a second. Slowly start working that bait back. Doing the hop hop motion. Let it sit. Hop hop. Let it sit. Let that Ned rig bait do the work for you. Oh. Got it. Right off the bank. Alright. Cool. Another one. They are loving that Ned rig today. Look at that. Again, not a lot of size here, but it's just fun to get on the board. Got him. Oh my gosh, it is like bass paradise. I'm gonna get some crappie. Another one. That is crazy. A little bit nicer. Boom. You guys are watching real time though, just how effective that technique is, where you cast it out, let it fall to the bottom, and you just slowly hop it back to the bank. These fish appear to be pretty shallow. Got him. Oh, he wanted that bad. There we go, another one. Got him. Got him. As you guys can see, that is still the original worm and the original jig. Jig is starting to get a little banged up, hopping off those rocks on the bottom. And that worm has a little bit of a tear in it, but hey, don't fix it if it ain't broke. That is my motto when it comes to fishing. Well, really just about anything in life, but especially fishing when gear is very expensive. Don't fix it, it's not broke. Oh, that was a great hit. Gotta be, oh my gosh. These fish are psycho. They're ludicrous. Oh. Well, unfortunately, I just broke off, so I just tied back on another simple little Ned rig head. I can't remember what size these are. I think they're 1/16 of an ounce. There's something similar to that. Got one more green pumpkin left. Same thing as I did before. Just put it right through the middle. Feed it down on the flat side. And pop it out. Boom. Just like so. That is another Ned rig ready to go. Oh, I felt that one. Come here, buddy. There you go. Come on. There you go. There you go. Ooh. Quick release. See you, buddy. There he goes. Sometimes these fish like to just thump it and you'll feel it pretty quickly, but other times you don't even know you have a fish until you lean back on the rod and you're like, hey, why is there a dead weight in the end of my rod? Look at this. These bass are crazy. Oh, pretty decent size too. I mean, they're not dinks. Loving that Ned rig. Cool. Yeah, buddy, that's not your home. Other way. Come on. There you go. Off you go, buddy. Even though the Ned rig is more of a finesse bait, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stay in one spot for an hour, you know, casting in one direction, hoping for a fish to come towards you. That's the beautiful thing about a Ned rig is it's so good at identifying if there's fish in the area. If you're in one spot and you make, you know, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 casts and you're not getting any bites, keep moving. Don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to keep on walking down the bank, or if you're in a kayak, move up and down the shoreline. It's very rare that you'll pass over a fish with a Ned rig that just doesn't want to eat it. When it comes to Ned rig fishing, I'm all about keeping my gear light. People always ask me, you know, what do you throw in your Ned rig on? What pound test? What size reel? What size rod? And I always say, the lighter, the better. Granted, depending on where you are, the body of water you're fishing, I think the joy of Ned rig fishing and where you're going to get the most action out of Ned rig fishing is if you keep your gear light. I'm not saying you have to be ultralight with 4-pound test, but I have a 7-foot medium fast action rod and just a Fluger size 30, I think. Yep, Fluger size 30. An 8-pound test line. You can use mono, you can use fluorocarbon. I prefer fluorocarbon, but either one will work. It's a nice one. This might be the best of the day. Oh yeah. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Holy moly. Did we freaking hammer those bass? I think I probably caught 10 or 15 bass all up along the shoreline with that Ned rig. Guys, I'm telling you what, if you have a chance to throw a Ned rig, do it. I highly, highly recommend it. I'll be honest, personally, it's brought me a lot of confidence on the water. Even a few years ago when I was getting back into fishing and I wasn't really quite sure different baits and how to use them and, you know, this and that and Texas rig and swim bait and yada, 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 I found the Ned rig. And the Ned rig really, truly saved my fishing life. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate the support. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace!